Have you ever wondered why some men seem to create attraction without trying, while others do everything the internet tells them to do and still struggle? The answer is often hidden beneath the surface. It isn't only about appearance, money, status, or memorizing clever lines. It is rooted much deeper, in human behavior psychology, relationship psychology, and the subtle signals our brains process before conscious thought even begins. Today we're going to explore a fascinating perspective on female desire triggers and the psychology of attraction. This isn't about manipulation, tricks, or pretending to be someone you're not. Instead, it's about understanding how people naturally evaluate each other during first impressions and early interactions. Many people searching for dating advice for men, dating tips for men, or how to attract women focus only on external improvements. While self-improvement is valuable, attraction often starts with unconscious impressions long before anyone makes a logical decision. Researchers studying psychology of desire, relationship psychology, and male-female dynamics have repeatedly shown that our brains rely on shortcuts. Before someone consciously decides whether they enjoy talking to another person, their mind is already processing confidence, emotional stability, authenticity, body language, and social behavior. That means attraction is rarely created by one perfect sentence. Instead, it's built through dozens of subtle signals. This is why discussions about understanding women, female nature, psychological triggers for attraction, and even topics often labeled forbidden psychology continue to fascinate millions of people around the world. These subjects explore patterns of human behavior, not absolute rules, and understanding those patterns can dramatically improve social interactions. Imagine tuning an old radio. Turning the volume higher doesn't automatically improve the music. If you're broadcasting on the wrong frequency, all you'll hear is static. Many men spend years increasing the volume. More money, better clothes, bigger muscles, more expensive watches, fancier cars. Those things can certainly improve confidence and lifestyle, but they don't automatically change the emotional signals someone communicates. The real question becomes, what frequency are you broadcasting? This is where psychology of attraction becomes far more interesting than simple dating advice. People respond emotionally before they respond logically. A calm voice, relaxed posture, steady eye contact, comfort with silence, genuine curiosity. These signals tell a far richer story than any rehearsed pickup line ever could. One of the biggest misconceptions in modern dating is believing attraction begins the moment you convince someone to like you. In reality, attraction often begins when someone becomes curious about you. Curiosity is powerful because the human brain naturally wants to resolve uncertainty. Think about your favorite movie. If someone tells you every plot twist before you watch it, the experience becomes far less engaging. The same principle appears throughout human behavior psychology. Our minds pay attention to what feels slightly unpredictable, not chaotic, not confusing, simply interesting enough that our brains continue paying attention. This idea connects directly with psychology of desire. People don't remember every conversation they've had. They remember conversations that made them feel something different. This doesn't require acting mysterious. It requires authenticity. One reason many men struggle despite following endless online advice is that they become performers instead of participants. Instead of listening, they're thinking about what to say next. Instead of learning about the other person, they're trying to impress them. Instead of enjoying the interaction, they're evaluating themselves every few seconds. Ironically, this creates tension. Real confidence usually looks much quieter. Someone comfortable with themselves doesn't rush every silence. They don't constantly seek approval. They don't force jokes. They don't agree with everything simply to appear likable. These behaviors communicate emotional security, and emotional security consistently appears throughout research involving relationship psychology, psychology of attraction, and long-term interpersonal trust. Another important concept involves attention. Where attention goes, emotion often follows. Many people immediately focus all their energy on the person they find most attractive. That intense focus sometimes creates unnecessary pressure for both people. Instead, emotionally balanced individuals remain present with everyone around them. They enjoy conversations without treating every interaction like an interview or a performance. This creates a completely different social experience. People naturally feel more comfortable around someone who isn't desperately trying to prove their value. That calm presence becomes part of what many describe as masculine energy. Contrary to popular belief, masculine energy isn't about dominance or arrogance. It's usually reflected through emotional stability, patience, purpose, self-respect, consistency. These qualities often create stronger impressions than flashy displays of confidence. When people search for relationship secrets, attraction triggers, psychological triggers for attraction, or secrets to attraction, they're often hoping to discover one magical sentence that changes everything. Real life rarely works that way. Instead, attraction develops through many small moments. A thoughtful question, a genuine smile, active listening, confidence without ego, kindness without desperation. These behaviors quietly communicate value without needing constant validation. This foundation is where the first major attraction principle begins, a mindset that completely changes the direction of every conversation. Instead of asking yourself, how can I make this person like me? A far more useful question is, are we genuinely compatible? That simple shift transforms body language, conversation, and emotional presence far more effectively than memorizing hundreds of dating techniques. In the next part, we'll explore the first two powerful psychological patterns that influence early attraction, including why being genuinely selective often creates stronger connections than constantly seeking approval, and how social dynamics subtly shape first impressions according to modern relationship psychology, female desire triggers, and the science of psychology of seduction. Let's continue by exploring two powerful concepts frequently discussed in relationship psychology, human behavior psychology, and the psychology of attraction. These aren't guaranteed formulas for romance, because every person is unique. Instead, they describe behavioral patterns that can influence first impressions and social interactions. 1. The chooser mindset instead of the approval mindset. One of the biggest shifts a man can make has nothing to do with appearance. It happens entirely inside his own mind. Many men enter conversations with one dominant question running through their heads. How do I make her like me? Without realizing it, that single question changes everything. It changes posture. It changes eye contact. It changes tone of voice. It changes how they react to every sentence. Soon they begin laughing harder than normal, agreeing with opinions they don't actually share, offering compliments too early, and trying to keep every conversation alive at all costs. From the outside, these behaviors may appear friendly, but underneath, they often communicate uncertainty. The brain notices emotional neediness long before words reveal it. This is why many discussions around female desire triggers, male-female dynamics, and psychology of desire emphasize confidence rooted in self-respect, rather than constant approval seeking. Now compare that mindset with a different internal question. Is this someone I genuinely enjoy talking to? Notice the difference. Instead of trying to sell yourself, you're discovering another person. Instead of performing, you're observing. Instead of chasing approval, you're evaluating compatibility. This doesn't mean becoming cold or arrogant. It doesn't mean pretending to be difficult. And it certainly doesn't mean playing emotional games. It simply means remembering that attraction works both ways. Healthy relationships begin when two people are learning about each other, not when one person desperately tries to convince the other. Imagine interviewing someone for an important role in your company. Would you hire the first applicant without asking questions? Probably not. You'd remain curious. You'd listen carefully. You'd evaluate character, values, communication style, and reliability. That same balanced curiosity creates stronger conversations in dating. Many experts discussing dating advice for men, dating tips for men, and understanding women emphasize the importance of genuine curiosity over rehearsed techniques. Rather than automatically praising everything someone says, ask thoughtful follow-up questions. Instead of saying, "That's amazing," every few minutes try asking, "What inspired you to choose that path?" Or, "What do you enjoy most about it?" These questions invite meaningful conversation instead of superficial approval. People often remember conversations where they felt understood rather than admired. That subtle difference plays an important role in psychology of attraction and long-term relationship psychology. 2. Social presence creates silent signals. Now let's move to another fascinating concept. Human beings constantly observe social environments. Whether we realize it or not, we notice how people interact with others. This doesn't mean popularity determines attraction. It means our brains naturally collect social information. Imagine entering two cafes. One is empty. The other has people happily chatting while waiting for a table. Without tasting the food, many people instinctively assume the busy cafe offers a better experience. This shortcut exists throughout human behavior psychology. Our brains often use other people's behavior as additional information. The same principle appears during social gatherings. Suppose one man immediately walks toward the most attractive woman in the room while ignoring everyone else. His attention becomes extremely focused. Soon his body language communicates one clear message. I'm here only for one person. That creates pressure. Now imagine another man entering the same room. He greets the host. He thanks the bartender. He smiles at the older couple nearby. He has brief conversations with several people. He's relaxed. He's engaged. He's not performing for attention. He's simply enjoying the environment. Gradually something interesting happens. People respond positively. Conversations become comfortable. Laughter appears naturally. Others include him without hesitation. This isn't about becoming the center of attention. It's about creating positive experiences wherever you happen to be. That's one reason discussions about psychological triggers for attraction, female nature, and psychology of seduction often highlight emotional presence rather than flashy confidence. People feel comfortable around someone who feels comfortable with themselves. Notice something important. The goal isn't to make one specific person jealous. The goal isn't to manufacture social proof. Those approaches usually feel forced. Authenticity remains far more powerful. When your interactions with everyone feel genuine, your overall social energy changes. People notice consistency. Consistency builds trust. Trust strengthens attraction. This principle also connects with masculine energy. True masculine energy doesn't require dominating every conversation. It doesn't demand being the loudest person. Instead, it reflects emotional steadiness, calm leadership, respect toward everyone, patience, confidence without ego. Many people searching for relationship secrets, how to attract women, dating advice for men, or even topics labeled dark psychology attraction mistakenly believe attraction comes from controlling conversations. Healthy attraction is usually much simpler. People naturally enjoy spending time with someone who improves the emotional atmosphere around them. Someone who listens. Someone who stays composed. Someone who doesn't constantly seek validation. Those qualities create quiet influence. Another important observation appears repeatedly throughout relationship psychology. Attention follows emotion. Emotion follows experience. If interacting with you consistently feels relaxed, positive, and authentic, people naturally associate those emotions with your presence. That doesn't guarantee romantic attraction. However, it dramatically improves social connection. And strong connection is the foundation upon which genuine attraction often grows. This is why psychology of desire, secrets to attraction, female desire triggers, and human behavior psychology all point toward one central idea. People remember how you made them feel. Not how perfectly you delivered memorized lines. Not how many compliments you gave. Not how hard you tried to impress them. In the next and final part, we'll examine 3 additional concepts. Why breaking predictable conversation patterns captures attention, why emotional contrast makes genuine warmth more meaningful, and how deeper conversations create stronger emotional connections according to modern relationship psychology, psychology of attraction, psychology of seduction, and understanding women. Now we've reached the final 3 ideas. Together, they help explain why some conversations are quickly forgotten, while others remain in someone's mind for days. These concepts appear frequently in discussions about relationship psychology, human behavior psychology, psychology of attraction, and the broader science of interpersonal connection. Remember, these are patterns, not guarantees. Every individual is unique, and genuine attraction always depends on mutual interest, compatibility, respect, and communication. 3. Break predictable conversation patterns. The human brain is constantly making predictions. Every day it tries to guess what will happen next because prediction saves mental energy. That's why routine quickly becomes invisible. Think about your daily commute. The first time you traveled a new route, every turn demanded your attention. Months later, you sometimes arrive without remembering much of the drive. Your brain filled in the patterns automatically. Conversations work in a surprisingly similar way. Many people have experienced countless interactions that follow nearly identical scripts. Where are you from? What do you do? What are your hobbies? These questions aren't wrong. They're simply expected. Expected conversations rarely become memorable. One reason people search for psychology of attraction, psychological triggers for attraction, dating advice for men, and how to attract women is because they want conversations that actually leave an impression. The answer usually isn't a clever pickup line. It's genuine curiosity. Suppose someone mentions they recently changed careers. Instead of immediately asking another predictable question, you might ask, "What made you decide that now instead of 5 years ago?" Suddenly the conversation becomes personal rather than procedural. You're no longer collecting facts. You're exploring experiences. That difference matters. Meaningful conversations activate emotion, and emotion improves memory. This explains why relationship psychology consistently emphasizes emotional engagement over rehearsed conversation techniques. 4. Emotional contrast makes warmth more valuable. One fascinating principle in human behavior psychology is contrast. Our brains don't evaluate experiences in isolation. They compare experiences. Imagine drinking a glass of cold water after running on a hot afternoon. Feels incredible. The water hasn't changed. Your experience has. The same idea appears in social interactions. Some people offer constant praise from the very first minute. Every sentence receives enthusiastic approval. Every opinion becomes amazing. Every joke is treated as hilarious. At first, that enthusiasm feels pleasant. Eventually, it blends into the background. When appreciation becomes automatic, it gradually loses emotional impact. Now imagine a different interaction. Someone listens carefully. They remain relaxed. They're engaged without exaggeration. Then, during the conversation, you share something meaningful. Perhaps you describe overcoming a difficult challenge. Perhaps you reveal an important personal value. Their expression changes. A genuine smile appears. Their appreciation feels authentic because it responds to something specific. That moment often carries more emotional weight than dozens of automatic compliments. This is one reason discussions surrounding female desire triggers, psychology of desire, psychology of seduction, and relationship secrets often highlight authenticity over performance. Real appreciation feels different. People can usually sense the difference between habitual praise and sincere recognition. The lesson isn't to hide kindness. The lesson is to make kindness meaningful. Specific compliments create stronger memories than generic praise. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," notice something unique. "I really admire how calmly you handled that situation." Specific observations communicate genuine attention. And genuine attention is surprisingly rare. That quiet authenticity often reflects healthy masculine energy, far more than dramatic displays of confidence. 5. Create conversations that people remember. Perhaps the strongest lesson from relationship psychology is this: connection grows through shared experiences, not interviews, not performances, not endless small talk. Imagine two strangers talking for 30 minutes. If they spend the entire time exchanging facts, they may learn a lot about each other, but they might not feel particularly connected. Now imagine another conversation. Instead of only discussing jobs and hobbies, they begin talking about personal lessons, dreams, challenges, important memories, values, books that changed their thinking, moments that shaped who they became. Those conversations feel completely different. Why? Because people aren't simply exchanging information anymore. They're revealing identity. Researchers studying interpersonal relationships have repeatedly found that appropriate self-disclosure can increase feelings of closeness when both people participate willingly. Notice the key phrase, both people. Healthy conversation is mutual. It's never an interrogation. It's never one person doing all the talking. It's a gradual exchange built on trust. This principle appears repeatedly in discussions about understanding women, male-female dynamics, psychology of attraction, and healthy communication. People remember conversations where they felt understood, not evaluated. Not judged, not pressured, simply understood. That emotional experience often lasts much longer than any clever joke or memorized technique. The bigger picture. If we step back, all 5 ideas we've discussed share one common foundation: authenticity. Whether someone is learning about female nature, exploring secrets to attraction, researching dating tips for men, or studying human behavior psychology, the strongest lesson remains surprisingly simple. Healthy attraction cannot be forced. It cannot be negotiated. It cannot be manufactured through scripts alone. Real attraction develops when 2 people enjoy discovering each other naturally. Instead of asking, "How do I make someone like me?" a more productive question is, "Am I showing up as the best version of myself, while also discovering whether we're genuinely compatible?" That mindset immediately changes your body language. Your conversations become calmer. You listen more carefully. You stop rushing every silence. You become comfortable with uncertainty. Ironically, that relaxed confidence often creates far better interactions than trying to control every moment. People searching for dark psychology attraction, forbidden psychology, or instant formulas often hope for shortcuts. But lasting attraction is usually built on qualities that never go out of style: confidence without arrogance, curiosity without neediness, kindness without expectation, honesty without oversharing, purpose without performance. These characteristics strengthen not only romantic relationships, but every meaningful relationship in life. Ultimately, the goal isn't to convince everyone to like you. The goal is to become someone whose confidence, character, and authenticity naturally encourage genuine connection. Because in the end, the strongest attraction triggers are rarely the loudest ones. They're the quiet signals of emotional maturity, self-respect, genuine curiosity, consistent masculine energy, and authentic communication. Those qualities continue to stand the test of time, and they remain at the heart of psychology of attraction, relationship psychology, psychology of desire, psychology of seduction, understanding women, female desire triggers, dating advice for men, and the timeless study of human behavior psychology.